Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clare Point podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, Shway, Crispy, Irie? Welcome to another episode of the Clare Point podcast. Now, first time watchers, season watchers, big yourselves up. Obviously, there's a lot to get through in this episode. I'm not going to lie to you lot, so we're just going to kick things off. No for all that long ting, jabbering jaw and all of that. Let's get straight into what we've got onto the podcast. We get onto for this week the advice. It's back for this week. It wasn't there last week, but it's here this time. As I said, I like to randomize things and keep you all guessing and all of that. But let me stop waffling and get into this piece of advice I've got for this person. Basically says this: I fucked 3 guys in a week. Now, this is probably a bit scatty behavior, but let's see what more is in the details. It says basically the title, so basically scatty behavior. So I went to a pub, then I went to a party afterwards where I ended up sleeping with this guy we've had like a flirty relationship with since we've met, but I've never slept together until now. We slept together and then I fell asleep, which by the way was his friend's bed. When I woke up, he was gone. This mate, a few other people were still there, and we all ended up going back to the pub. Then later that day, we were still drinking and they ended up sleeping with a friend whose bed house it was. Later that week, about 3 days later, I slept with someone else. I feel gross now, but didn't really think about it at the time. I know, haha, bit grossed out. Or what can you do? I can tell you what you can do is not get yourself to a situation where you've ended up smashing 3 guys, because it looks problematic here. Do you know what I mean? Like, cool, you said the first person you were with, you know, you had a flirty relationship, fairs. After that, that's where you stop. You don't get your knickers in a twist and start running around town, jumping from bed to bed. Do you know what I mean? Doing the J Holiday settings. I'ma put you to bed, bed. Because it's grim like the fairy tales right now. You're moving mad loosey-goosey gander sayings. You're just putting your nani all over everywhere, telling nobody to enter. Do you know what I mean? It's like a bacon sarnie or one of them sausage sarnies. You're just allowing the man's sausage just to enter your bread, bruv. What's going on there? Do you know what I mean? It's grim. That's all I've got to say there. But listen, you had your chance of fun when you did it the first or second time around. You know what I mean? And you said you slept together, you fell asleep and all of that. Do you know what I mean? It's just looking a bit scatty. I'll just simply say to you, just learn from your mistakes. Don't go there and be doing things like this again. Cool, you had your fun. And listen, if you're a young gal and you're young, fairs. But if you're an older gal, you're going into your 30s, 28s, lates, you're moving mad. Do you know what I mean? Get it together. It's as simple as I've got to say to you. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't be doing the same things and doing the loosey-goosey gander stuff, otherwise you're going to start to have a rap around town. People are going to know you as the local bike. You don't want to be known as that. Trust me, it's moving mad out there. So it's as simple as I got to say to you is sort yourself out. The next guy you get with, just make sure you get to know his personality first, find out all about him and not about what's going on down below in aubergine settings there. Leave it out. Do you know what I mean? Think with this and not with that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't have that, but I'm saying to her, you know, to just don't think with that, the cat flaps and all of that. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's my simple advice to her. It's just to learn from your mistake. You know what I mean? Because it was a mistake and you regret it. You said you did, so just learn from it. Cool. Anyways, that's the only piece of advice I got for you guys this week. Because obviously, as I said, got a lot to get through in this episode. So let's move on to the next thing. What's the word? Big up my man Sheku, as I said, who inspired the original concept. So we get on to what's the word for this week, which is from TMZ. Big up TMZ. And they've said, basically, a teacher was arrested for spending school credit card on hairline repair cream. Now that's a mad way to get yourself, number 1, arrested, and number 2, fired from your job. Because let's be honest there, they're not going to take him back after the man stole the school money to go and get hairline cream. a hairline repair cream. That's mad. And to that guy, you fucked up your career, bruv. For some hairline cream. Are you serious? Are you actually taking the piss? Because have you got sense in that head of yours that you're going to use the school money to go and get some hairline cream? What about the money that they're paying you? Why didn't you use that money to go and sort your hairline out? Listen, it may have been doing a bad thing to where the thing's probably receding to where it's looking a bit peaky, like the blinders, but sometimes you can't be using money of the school and go and spending that on your hairline. I mean, there's better things you could have been using that money for, but still, I'm not condoning going to steal school money and that. That's moving mad, because you're a teacher and you owe that school an obligation to teach them kids. And what you're teaching them kids is okay to go and jack some money from the school. That's what they're going to be knowing you for. Oh, that teacher that stole money out of the, school funds and that. So all those kids you probably taught, you've probably taught them a bad thing now as well. They're probably going to take that and think, well, you know what that teacher did? That teacher stole some money. Maybe I should think about doing that now, because they set me an example now. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that this right here is not great for you. Number one, now you have a criminal record for stealing hair cream, for stealing money, for getting hair cream to sort out your hair, bruv. It's mental to think about it, that you've decided to take this route just for your own hair. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. There's no really any advice I can give you. It's just to, you find out, you fuck up, you find out, all of that. What is the thing they say? You fuck about, find out. And that's what happened. You fucked about and found out. So that's your own problem. You've got to find a way now to live with your mistake and own it and move forward with it. Because listen, this is a great story to probably tell your grandkids down the line. Oh yeah, you know what your granddaddy did one time? Yeah, you went and took the school funds and bought some hair repair cream with it. It's crazy. But anyways, all of that. Let's move on. So, what do you guys think of my advice and what's the word? Put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. With that, we're going to move forward now to talk Ten Haag. So Ten Haag has been sacked by Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? Not Bayern Munich, sorry, Bayern Leverkusen. So Bayern Munich. Thinking about we drew them in the Champions League. That's what man's thinking about that. By the way, I will come on to that too as well. I did forget to write that down, but we will come on to just touch on a bit of the draws and who I think has got the tougher ties and all of that. But yeah, Bayer Leverkusen sacked him after 2 games. Man got sacked after 2 games. It's not looking great at all. It's not grand like the design. It's not grand like the piano. The fact of the matter is that man got sacked. Tells you that they didn't rate him in the first place. Why would you hire a man that you didn't rate? You gave him 2 games as well, and then you fired man. But this is what everybody could tell you about Ten Haag does, bruv. Do you know what I mean? This man was soft like ice cream. That's why he got fired by Man United. At the end of the day, they chose to pay this man how much to employ him in the first place. And then you realise 2 games in, this guy is not the guy for you. Why did you go and hire him in the first place? You spent all that money on man, gave him some contract, and now you have to pay him off to go. In 2 games. I'm sorry, Bayern, but that's just mad. That's just mental. Leverkusen, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Why did you hire him in the first place? Ten Rongen, bruv. Do you know what I mean? 10 toes, 10 fingers, because they're all out the door now. Do you know what I mean? He's no longer in a job anymore. But you should have known this from when you decided to employ him after his stint at Man United, which ended in a massive L. So I don't understand why you would go to those lengths of employing a man who's a very pragmatic coach. Didn't make any sense to me. You came from the heights of Alonso and then you went to the heights of Ten Haag. That's a massive decline, bro. That's a massive decline. Yeah, that's down the hill stuff, peak mountaintops and all that. There's only one way down, and it's in a tumbleweed, bro. You're going down, all of that. It's just been shifting across, and there's no way forward. And they realised that after 2 games. Why did you employ him in the first place? Dumbass movements, stupid. But you wasted your own money. He's laughing because he's robbed you. He's robbed you. He's taken all he can, millions off you, just because you had to pay man out after 2 games. It's just crazy. Insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. But yeah, listen, Eric Ten Haag will probably be picked up by one of these teams down the line, because someone will probably give Eric Ten Haag a job again. I don't understand why. I don't see what the hype is about him. You know what I mean? I don't really see it, to be honest, but hey, he'll probably do well somewhere in, like, you know, one of them Eastern European countries where they'll give him a shot, where the league is not that great, and he'll probably just walk the league. You know what I mean? Like Ollie did. And speaking of Ollie, he got sacked as well. Within this whole week, he got sacked, and Mourinho got sacked too. That's crazy. All them man got sacked within a week of each other. That's just insane. But it just tells you what you need to know. It's not looking good for them at all. But they got payout, so they don't care. But the people who decided to offer these man money, to give these men an opportunity to manage their clubs, what were you thinking? But anyways, we're going to move on to the next one. But what do you think of Eric Ten Hag getting sacked from his job? You think he was great that he got sacked after 2 games? Put your comments below on that one. Keep them to yourself. That, we're going to move forward now. We're going to touch on, obviously, the transfer news. So the transfer deadline day news. The transfer deadline day is happening today. For the people who don't know, have been living under a rock somewhere. You know what I mean? And obviously the big boy news is obviously Alexander Isak. His move to Liverpool has been finalised, and he's gone for 125 million, which is obviously now a British record fee. It's obviously a great move. As I said when I first spoke about Isak potentially moving, that if I was the board, I would have sold him. You can't keep someone there that is going to be problematic to your squad now, because he's already stated that he wants to leave. You can't keep man there and hold man hostage. You know what I mean? Because obviously he's now come out, made all these claims and these statements, and said that the club's not this and is refusing to play for the club. So the best thing to do is get rid, because that now is going to cause disharmony in that dressing room. But they've got a great fee for him, which I think, you know what, they should have just accepted it the first time around, because now what this is for Newcastle, they don't have time to really go and spend that cash unless they're going to. Obviously now I see now they've signed Wissa. So they signed Wissa from Newcastle for 55 million, which is a good deal for them. Wissa's a good player, but can he replicate and do what Isak can do? I don't think so. But they also signed another striker, which is from Stuttgart. This guy, unknown to me, but I've seen some clips of him and he does look quite promising. 23 years old, I believe he was 22. German international, played at under 21 level. So he looks good. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to bother doing it. I'll just butcher it. So, but he looks like a good player. He looks like someone who can really give Newcastle something that they need. But signing Wissa as well is a promising sign for them too. Do you know what I mean? They do need that backup striker. And obviously, Wissa's a good option to come off the bench. He scored a few goals for Brentford. His link-up play with Mbeumo was very good as well. And I think he will link up quite well with the players that are available for Newcastle. You know, like Alanga's there now, and they've signed Wissa now too. And then this German striker that they've got as well. So Newcastle have, you know, let's say bought in the areas they needed to kind of strengthen and buy. So I think their defense is probably a little bit problematic. They probably need another defender in there, but I think for them, they've kind of covered the Isak situation in a way. I think they can't replace Isak, but I think they covered it by signing this striker and signing Wissa. So overall, you can say good for Newcastle in a way that they've covered that, but it's still going to leave a massive hole there. I think Isak is a quality player. And listen, Liverpool signing him is only going to be problems for the rest of the Premier League, to be honest. I hope he doesn't fire this season, to be honest. I hope it doesn't work out for him at Liverpool. Because if it doesn't, there's going to be a lot of people out there ready to start calling it out. You know what I mean? Gunning Liverpool for spending 120 something million on him. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Liverpool have got their guy. It's peak for the rest of the Premier League. If Isak starts firing, and obviously with the guys they've got, the amount of money Liverpool spent, you expect Liverpool to be definitely retaining this Premier League championship, and that's what I think will potentially happen. So, all right, Spurs obviously have got Koulo Moani on loan, so they've signed Koulo Moani on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. Again, I think it's a good move for Spurs. They did need a striker. In terms of Dominic Solanke is not that guy who is consistent, so they needed someone else in there who's got physical presence like Koulo Moani. And, you know, he brings some experience there as well from being in the Champions League too, which Tottenham can actually use. So it's a good signing for Tottenham. Yeah, on loan as well. No obligations, I think, to sign. Potentially probably down the line they may have obligations. I'm not too sure about that, but it's a good deal to get him in on loan and bolster their attacking front. So Sweden, captain Lindelof has joined Aston Villa. So Lindelof joins Villa. That's obviously a good move for Villa, I think, having in another defender, someone else who can help them, because I think defensively Villa have looked a bit weird at times. So having that experience of Lindelof in there could help them. You know, Villa also closing on loan deals for Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho. So again, bringing in guys of that quality from clubs can really help Villa as well. They know how to just sign some of these ex-guys that, you know, can turn out to do a madness for them. Harvey Elliott is a good signing as well. He's a good player, you know what I mean? And to sign him can really help them. To sign Jadon Sancho as well, I think going to a club that there's really not much pressure on him can probably really help him as well. So it's a good signing. Man City, obviously in advanced talks to sign Donnarumma for 30 million. So Ederson is now going to be joining Fenerbahce in a 12 million pounds move. So it's weird to me that they're getting rid of Ederson, to be honest. I think he's been a very good keeper for them, to be honest. But I guess they're trying to move on from him. I think a lot of clubs in the Premier League could have done with an Ederson, to be honest. But hey, you know, 12 million for Ederson is probably a pretty decent move, to be honest. Like, it's no real risk. He's a guy who's got vast experience, won major championships as well with City. So yeah, I mean, but it's a good move for Fenerbahce indeed. But Donnarumma joining City, listen, a lot of promise for Donnarumma, you know. Hasn't really lived up to the hype, but I think potentially in a new place could be that thing that kick-starts it for him. So it's a risky move for them, but I think it's a move that still can pay off in a way. But I don't think he could replicate probably what Ederson could, but you never know down the line, you know. So Man United obviously has agreed to move for goalkeeper Sen Lamens, you know what I mean? So they're going to get a new keeper, which I feel they badly need. Anana's not the guy for them, and this other Bayern guy looks dodgy as hell as well. So they definitely needed to go and get a keeper, and I think that's a good signing for Man United. We don't know if it's going to work out, but they needed another keeper. So yeah. Real Betis looks to obviously secure the signings of 21.65 million for Anthony. So that looks like that could be on its way as well. Anthony could be getting his move to Real Betis. That could be a good thing for Anthony. And to leave the club and joined the club as well that he had the purple patch on and did some big things for when he was there on loan last season. So it's good for Anthony to get out. I think that can really help him go into a different league, and shows a lot of promising sign for him. So Anthony, good move for him. Well, obviously that's it for all the was updating to see if there's anything that's been sealed. So the Man United move for Sen Lamens has been agreed, you know what I mean, and that's obviously gone forward. But that's the latest news on that. So Liverpool now looking to close in on Gahey. So if Liverpool secure that signing as well, that bolsters their defence. But we'll see, obviously, what happens at the end of the window. Okay, we're going to move forward now, because I can't spend all day trying to refresh the page and find out what's going on. Let's move on. All of that. But, as I said, that's what the transfer deadline day is saying. What do you guys think of the transfer deadline day? Put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. With that, we're going to move forward now to come on to the Premier League. So, we come on to obviously match day 3 reactions. We're going to get the reactions to that, and then we're obviously going to predict the WSL, because obviously there's no Premier League that's going to be happening this week, not until the following week, because obviously it's internationals, and you know me and international, I hate internationals, so let's not bother about all of that nonsense. Let's move on. Let's come on to the match day 3's reactions to them. We come to the first game. Let's just do the voice. Just get on with that. Match day 3 of the Premier League. Chelsea 2, Fulham 0. Wolves 2, Everton 3. Tottenham 0, Bournemouth 1. Man United 3, Burnley 2. Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. Leeds 0, Newcastle 0. Brighton 2, Man City 1. Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham 3. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 3. Well, that was obviously the reactions to the Premier League games that happened, match day 3. Chelsea got 2-0 win against Fulham. You know what I mean? There's a decision there that is quite controversial in terms of, obviously, Fulham had a goal ruled out, which for me, looking at the angles in the build-up to the goal, it was a foul, unfortunately, because obviously there was a trod on the foot. Now, I know a lot of people saying, well, he turned him, but he's planted his foot down on his foot, which is kind of, let's say, caught and made contact. And when you make contact with that, unfortunately, it's a foul. So I think it was the correct decision. I know a lot of people would think it was the wrong one, but looking back at the footage again, at first I thought, nah, but then I looked at it again, I thought, yeah, there's contact there. That's a foul. So, but Chelsea, a 2-0 win for them. They keep on moving on. It's a good win against their South London rivals. South London. They're West London, aren't they? One of them ones anyway. So let's move on. Wolves, losing 3-2 against Everton. It's a good win for Everton. Jack Grealish is on fire right now. Do you know what I mean? Man is performing for Everton and doing his thing. So he came up, I believe, with 2 assists, and Everton looking good so far. Wolves looking in a bit of a hole, you know what I mean? But great result for Everton away from home. Tottenham losing 1-0 to Bournemouth. Listen, great result for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are going to be a problem this season, I believe, because Semenyo in that squad, the way they've gelled as well, the Evan Nielsen, guys like that, they have a plan, they're sticking to it. You know what I mean? That manager as well, Areola, is a decent manager too. Knows how to get the best out of his players at this point in time, and he's doing a very good job. And listen, winning at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a great result for Bournemouth. So well done to them. Man United, 3-2 win against Burnley. They got life. You know what I mean? Such life they did. But the Ahmad situation where he's been dragged back, it happened outside the box and then it ended up inside the box. He's holding his shirt, so it has to be a penalty. You know what I mean? Again, it's silly decision making like that costs a team a point. And Burnley literally were matched Man United, and they really were on them. You know what I mean? Man United's defense, shaky, very shaky, but they managed to get through it with the late Bruno penalty. If it ended up a draw, I think Amarin was getting sacked after that game, to be honest. But I think he should have been sacked after the result against Grimsby. But he still is employed somehow. So, you know. The next game, Sunderland winning 2-1 against Brentford. It's a good result for Sunderland. You know, at home, I probably expected them to beat Brentford, to be honest, because Brentford are on this trajectory where they can't get it right, to be honest. And Sunderland with a very good win for them, you know what I mean? And they keep on moving. Leeds, Newcastle 0-0. Didn't watch the game. I think I saw parts of it, but you know, not much to say about that. 0-0 it is. I think obviously Newcastle now getting that striker in would help them, you know, massively, because they need to get goals. And having Wissa join and having that German striker squad, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to bother to do it. I think that will help them a lot. Really will. Don't think it will still leave a hole where Isak is, but I still think that they'll be able to contribute a lot more going forward. So, yeah. Brighton, 2-1 win against Man City. Well done to Brighton. You know what I mean? At home, beating City. A late goal to win it as well. It's always fantastic when you see City losing back-to-back games, I believe. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy in a sense to say. City, you know, right now, it's not looking promising for them. Back-to-back defeats to Tottenham, and then now they've lost to Brighton. You know what I mean? It's not been a good start for them, but this is how City start. They start off shit, and then they ended up just zooming. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with City, to be honest. They start off so bad, and then they end up just picking up form and go, and then they go on some winless, they go on a winning streak, and they just keep going. So that's problematic in itself. The fact that they're losing this early doesn't really surprise me, to be honest, because, as I said, they find a way somehow. Next game, but big up to Brighton. Late winner as well. Great composure for the second goal. Brilliant composure. Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham 3. Surprising, to be honest. But this just tells me that there's a lot of problems going on at Nottingham Forest. The manager and the chairman are not seeing eye to eye, and certain things are going down. You know what I mean? That chairman is a bit of a character, isn't he? So it's crazy what's happening over there. But to lose to West Ham, literally, at this point, have looked shocking this season. You know what I mean? To allow Graham Potter to get his first win of the season against you lot, yeah, that's mad. But still, West Ham done their thing. They played well. You know, Paqueta showing up, Bowens as well. So then man stepped up for them. Next game we got Liverpool Arsenal. Szoboszlai free kick was special, but should have been saved, in my opinion, by Raya. Should have been more central, but again, just not good enough. Arsenal's play passive. They kept the ball, possessive play for a good period of a half, but what did they really do with it? Apart from Noni Madueke's shot, which got saved by the keeper, and a few headers over the bar, and some tame efforts, what realistically can we say we actually did to impose ourselves in that game against Liverpool? We didn't really impose ourselves. I wanted us to see us on the front foot against this team, going out all guns blazing. But when you start with guys like Mikel Merino and Martinelli in the first team, you're always destined to be a passive team. And Nwaneri should have started, and also Eze. So I don't understand why the manager didn't start their man and started Mikel Merino and Martinelli. Martinelli, for me, as I said, he's a guy who I look at and I say, where we're climbing, he's not climbing with us. He's a guy right now you probably bring off the bench to make impact substitutions or whatever, but he doesn't start for me. You know what I mean? He doesn't start for me. And it's just weird how he's just declined. Like, he isn't consistent. He's someone that shows flashes of performances, and it's just not someone that I believe deserves a start for us when we need to be pushing forward. He only still stagnates, and that's the problem I have with Martinelli at this point in time. If there's an offer that comes in, Saudi or one of them, man, accept it, bro. Let him go. 60 million, whatever, let him go. Because I feel like we can get money for him, cash in, let him go, and let's move on, you know. So yeah, but apart from that, Liverpool didn't really do much in the game. I think it's only late on they kind of had their chances, but it was just one of them ones, man. It's passive performance by Arsenal, so frustrating. Then the last game we'll come to, Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 3. Is a brilliant result for Palace at Villa's ground as well. Do you know what I mean? Winning 3-0, Mateta, and then man done their thing. You know what I mean? Which is something I didn't see happening. But Villa, as I said, can be a very wishy-washy side, Villa. You know what I mean? 1 minute they're high, next minute they're low. And that's what you get with Villa sometimes. Box of quality street. You know what I mean? So you're going to get some of the good ones, some of the bad ones. But yeah, but that's my thoughts on the Premier League and the matches. What do you guys think? Put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. Cool. With that, obviously we're going to move forward now to talk the WSL. And obviously I don't know much about WSL. I know obviously that last season Chelsea were the champions and they went through the season unbeaten. Arsenal went and won the Champions League, so big up to Arsenal for doing that. We're going to come on to predict those games and we're going to move forward after that. So the first game of match day 1, which is on Friday the 5th September, Chelsea versus Man City at 7:30. I'm going to go for Chelsea winning this one. I think it'll be a tight game because Man City are a good team. Their WSL team are very good. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win. Arsenal versus London City, which is on Saturday, 6th September, 1:30 p.m. I'm going to go for Arsenal winning this one. I'm going to go for a 4-1 Arsenal win. Tottenham versus West Ham. Tottenham, I think, have been in the division for a bit. I'm not sure about West Ham. I think West Ham have been around, but they're usually near the bottom, I think, around that place. I'm going to go for Tottenham winning this one. Probably, again, another tight one, 2-1. Man United versus Leicester City. 3-1 Man United. Liverpool versus Everton. This is obviously a Merseyside derby. This is on Sunday, 1 p.m. I'm going to go for... Form goes out the window, doesn't it? With Merseyside derby's first game of the season as well. I'm going to go 1-1 with this one. Next one, Brighton and Hove Albion, Aston Villa. It's on Sunday as well, at 12. I'm going to go for Villa winning this one. 2-1 Villa. And that's it from my predictions of the Super League Matchday 1. What are your thoughts? You can put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. With that, we're going to move forward now to just touch on a little bit of Clash of Paris. Now, I haven't seen the full thing, so I don't know much about what's going on in all
the matches that did happen in the PPV, so I'm just going to come on and touch on what I did see. So Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed was actually a very, very good match, you know what I mean? So thoroughly enjoyable. For me, I give that match a solid 8 out of 10. Thought it was a very good match. The after effects of that match, brilliant. I predicted Roman Reigns win, and I got that right. So, you know, not really a surprise to me. But I think obviously when you're looking at Bronson Reed was probably the one who potentially did need the win, because Bronson Reed is someone, obviously, excuse me, that's my buzzer. So, yeah, excuse that interruption. Yeah, as I said, you know, these things happen. It's podcast, bootleg podcast. I don't have a studio. I do this generally from my home, so it is what it is. But back to Clash of Paris. As I was saying about Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns' match, it's a very good 8. Thought it was a good match, and yeah, that's all I think I've got to say on that. I predicted Roman Reigns to win, and I got that right. So yeah, we move on. Next one, I believe, was Becky Lynch's match, if I'm not mistaken. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella. Clunky at points, very clunky. But it does leave me thinking, why did Nikki Bella come back, to be honest? I'm one of these people that don't really understand why she decided to come back. We didn't really miss her, so I don't understand why she's back in WWE. I predicted Becky Lynch to win, so the match overall wasn't great, but it was okay, so I'm giving that a 5. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that. That was for the Intercontinental Championship, by the way, the Intercontinental Championship, so I'm giving that a 5. The next one I watched was the Street Profits against the White Six. That one was a bit better, but still thought it could have been a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more in terms of the quality of the match, but it was still a decent match, you know. I would have wanted it to be a bit more, so I'd give that just about a 7 for that one. So, but at the start, I predicted the White Six would retain, and I got that spot on, so 3 for 3. And I think that's as far as I got, so do you know what I mean? Oh, Donnybrook match. Yes, I got to that one as well. The Donnybrook match. Sheamus versus Rusev. Good match. Thoroughly enjoyable. Good smashing action. For me, probably I would say the match of the night for me. I like a hardcore match. I like one of them. So I'm giving that match an 8.5. I thought it was a good smashing match. Brilliant action. Thoroughly enjoyable, you know, so yeah, 8.5 for me. I think that's as far as I got for the Clash in Paris. Everything else, I'll probably have to tell you later on if I do remember. But yeah, so far, in terms of what I saw, I can't really overly rate the pay-per-view, but it looked promising so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watch the rest of it, finding out a lot more. But yeah, that's all I got. But what do you guys think of Clash of Paris? If you've seen all of it, you can put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. With that, we've come to the end of the podcast. I'd thank you guys. Big up first time watchers, season watchers, and all of you guys. Thank you for your time. And you know what we usually do when we finish. But before that, you can subscribe to the ting, show your boy some love and all of that. Peace, love, unity, have fun, and you're either all in or clear out.